Now, Nick Farr-Jones, he famously said that Australia might not have won the World Cup if you had not been playing. Now, what's your thoughts on it?
Nick's obviously very kind. He's been a great captain and a great friend of mine. I think out of 64 tries, I think he's had a hand in about 47 of them. So he's been a key part of my career.
Now, you've played an incredible 101 times for your country. That's absolutely awesome. Now, in most quarters, South Africa are named as the most physical side that any team plays against, and that's been all the way through. Now, would you agree with that statement, and why would you agree with it?
Look, I mean, I think for the first up until '92, South Africa weren't in international sport.
Right.
So I played New Zealand 29 times, and to me they were the toughest and the physical side, and the rucking was part of their game. And you made sure as a winger you never got caught in the rucks because you don't get caught again. And then the South Africans came into the fold, and well, they're huge guys. I was fortunate. I coached there for 3 years with the Natal Sharks as a skills coach, and there's some big units, very big, very physical, and it's a passion.
Right.
As I said, it's like coming to Fiji talking about sevens. Everyone knows who the players are, the sevens. And they are. I mean, if you watch the test matches, they're always different. If we play New Zealand, it's more of a skill.
Right, okay.
But when New Zealand and South Africa play, it's more to see who the strongest is. That's how it's all sort of panned out over the years.
Now, is it true during the very crucial semi-final game against the All Blacks on the way to the World Cup final that during the famous haka, you were more interested in line kicking and you were standing behind the goal practicing? Is that true?
They've picked out their opposite number. Campese, he stood 100 metres away almost. He didn't want any part of that eyeball contact.
Yeah, I was probably looking at it now as probably the wrong thing to do, because I think the haka is part of the game and it's great. But back in those days, we weren't told how we should face the haka. As I said, I played them 29 times, and the haka was one of those things that it's an advantage for them. And we saw in this year's World Cup where France got fined because they stepped over the line. I mean, the All Blacks probably would have loved the challenge, and that's the whole idea, it's a challenge. So I was more interested in making sure my kicking was right, and that's how I prepared. It was probably the wrong thing to do, but looking back, it helps. We won, who cares?
Could you imagine today if you tried doing that?
Look, yeah, it's
France went, what, just a few metres, I think, just walked in. I thought, personally, it was a good challenge to the All Blacks, and then next thing they're pulled across the coals, they're fined.
Well, I actually thought the All Blacks should have come out and said, no, we think it's fine, because that's part of what they want, they want a challenge. And I think if you look at any schoolboy rugby game in New Zealand, they stand like this close to each other.
Yeah.
It's a challenge, that's what they want. And France were up for it, and they proved that during the game.
Now, just coming to our part of the world, do you believe the Pacific nations are gaining ground on the top tens? What's your feeling from, let's say, 91 to present?
No, I think the problem in world rugby is that the island teams have sort of been left behind. If you think of 91, Samoa made the quarters.
Right, yeah.
They made them get in 95, but they're struggling. You saw Tonga beat France.
Yeah.
You saw 2007, Tonga almost beat South Africa.
Fiji almost beat South Africa.
Fiji, but no, so did Tonga almost beat
okay, right.
in 2007.
Right.
And Fiji made it to the quarters.
Yeah.
There's no consistency.
That was the early life of rugby icon David Campese. Next week, don't miss it, we get more controversy from the rugby icon from Australia, David Campese.